Welcome to the Goat Film Review Show. This is episode 9, coming at you with some interesting movie news. Myself, I am Kyle Goethe. Welcome to the show, welcome to the channel. While I've got you here, drop a like, drop a comment as we talk about these different various ideas and pieces of film news, and click subscribe. And that way you can never miss an episode of the show, never miss any of the other great videos I've got uploaded online. Updates, guys. Did you like the last episode? Last time I used the green screen behind me, kind of processed a little bit more. It is shot in 4K, the show, so did you enjoy that? Or would you prefer the older episodes where I was just sitting in front of the computer camera? It's up to you. It takes a little bit longer to do these 4K episodes. I don't mind doing them if viewers are interested and like them, but let me know your thoughts on that as well. Main topic today, something I want to talk about. We are getting down to the wire. We are just a few days away from Tuesday, February 8th, which is the announcement of the Oscar nominations. And we have SpiderMan No Way Home, which has become an absolute money-making juggernaut, but can it really win Best Picture? That's our main story of the day. On the January 14th weekend, we saw Scream. The 2022 Scream came out. It overtook SpiderMan No Way Home, claimed a #1 box office spot for the first time since No Way Home opened. But then the following weekend, we have Spider-Man taking it back. It is now, again, the #1 movie in America, in the world, too. So Spider-Man has made $1.7 billion at the box office, which is like an incredible amount not having a pandemic going on. When you add to that what the current country is currently experiencing, the world is currently experiencing, people are not going to the theaters as much. So the fact that this movie even made a bill was actually surprising to me. The fact that it's gotten 1.7 bill is shocking. Yeah, when it came out, even just 2 weeks ago, we had movies like Redeeming Love, The King's Daughter, both came out, just got buried under the weight of No Way Home, which, I saw Redeeming Love. It's a bad movie. I can see why it got buried. I heard not great things about The King's Daughter, so I get why those movies didn't do as well. But you've got Spider-Man No Way Home that is just destroying the box office right now. A lot of people out there think it's capable of winning Best Picture. The odds are getting better, I think, that it could at least get nominated for the big award. That's the big one. It's the nomination. There's no chance it wins. No chance. And for the most part, I think there's a very small chance it's even nominated. Not a 0, and nowhere close to 100%. Very small chance that it could get nominated. It's getting better as the talk goes on. The argument is more convincing, and I think you're going to see a slate of movies that are coming out that'll get nominations that are going to be feel-good movies. There's also going to be complete downer movies too, but I think the theme of this year is going to be feel-good, and I think one of the movies that feels good is No Way Home. It wouldn't be the first superhero film to be nominated. 2018 had Black Panther, 2019 had Joker, both taking a nomination home. 2020 might add something too if movies had come out normal. But no one was dropping a superhero movie in 2020, except for Bloodshot, which was not going to win. So Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse took home Best Animated Feature. It won Best Animated Feature the year it came out. So again, there's some precedence for Spider-Man in the consciousness. There's a lot of goodwill going towards this film. I do think it's a small precedent, but it is there. It should be noted as well that this year is a new Best Picture rules have kind of taken into effect. I still think they're doing the ranked voting for winner, but as far as let me explain how Best Picture nominations happen. So at the Oscars, you get every single group of nominators on a committee are made up of the people voting for it. So, for example, the actors and actresses, which is the largest branch of the Academy, they nominate the best actor, actress, supporting actor, and supporting actress. They do all that. So Quentin Tarantino as a director is not nominating the actors and actresses for the year. Those are nominated by the actors and actress branch. Same thing with the directors. Is the branch of directors in the Academy, they nominate their favorites. Sound does that. VFX does that. Every one of these under categories has their own committee of people that do the nominations, built up of people in that area. Production designers do production design. Costume designers do costume design. They know their craft, so they can see what wins and what doesn't in their mind's eye. The documentary branch does documentaries. As that goes down to it, the only one that is different is Best Picture. Everyone nominates Best Picture. So it's made up. So usually you see a lot of heavy awards acting happen in the nomination process and the winning process because of the fact that the actors branch is the biggest one there. So when you have that, there's also some changes to Best Picture where it was for many years 5 films would get nominated for Best Picture. Some people say it was because of The Dark Knight. I don't know if it's specifically that, but the year after The Dark Knight came out, we had 10, and I think Avatar was that year that was nominated for Best Picture, which it was a cultural landmark. I don't know if it was a top 10 movie of that year, but it was a cultural landmark that came out. It got a nomination for Best Picture, which I think that's our key in there is the pandemic No Way Home and the cultural moment of Avatar. Those 2 films have a symbiance. We had that expanded 10 for Avatar was there in 2009. After that, it shifted to a 5 to 10 range, depending on the amount of nomination votes your film got. You had to kind of breach a certain percentage to get nominated. And oftentimes we'd see about 8 movies would get nominated for Best Picture, and it could vary. Some years you could technically have 5 or you could have 10. I don't think we've gotten 10 since the year that Avatar was up. After that, I think they changed it and they did like 5 to 10, and it usually ended up being about 8. This will be the first year that we switch back to the 10 nominations. There will be 10 nominations, no ifs, ands, or buts, 10 nominations. Well, the one previous year on record was Avatar getting nominated. And the movie, I think Avatar is great. It's become easy to hate on that movie, but I do think Avatar is great. And I think there's a precedent to be said about cultural, exciting, entertaining movies like SpiderMan No Way Home getting a nomination. I think it's possible. I don't think it's going to happen, but I do think it's possible in the climate we're currently in that a film that made a $1.7 billion during a pandemic, when no film since Star Wars The Force Awakens, or Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, no film since then has been able to crack the bill. This is $1.7 billion. It means a lot. And I really enjoyed the movie. So, now, a couple things that could have influence on this as well. John Watts, as a director and leader, has been praised for looking at the film with as much realism in every element. He wanted to ground Spider-Man as much as one can ground a man who flies through the air on spider webs. As much as he could, he tried to ground things. He tried to use real sets as much as possible. He tried to give everything the ability to shoot something in the easiest possible, most grounded way. He had a grounded filmmaking sensibility. He worked with VFX. He worked with cinematography to create realism as much as possible. Realism means a lot to the Academy. We also have below-the-line creatives who worked on the film that are pushing for it to get a Best Picture win. Now, I do think some of that has shifted to Dune. I think that more people are looking at Dune, pushing that for the cultural landmark that film is. But there are quite a few people, like costume designer Sanja Milkovic Hayes, who said every single element that can win Best Picture is in Spider-Man No Way Home. It's in the acting, it's the music, it's the story. There's no reason it shouldn't be part of the Best Picture conversation, which is fair. And the movie has the ability to do that. The awards have always favored acting. It's the largest voting body in the Academy is the Actors Branch, and all parties contribute to that Best Picture nomination, like I pointed out. I still don't think the movie has the momentum to win or even be nominated for Best Picture. I think it's not even the best superhero movie to come out in 2021. That's personally just my thoughts, though, on it. I think if there was going to be one, I think Shang-Chi would be the one that would get in there, and that has virtually disappeared from discussion. I thought that would be a better choice. Its contributions, its cultural place, Shang-Chi feels like the movie that they would have picked if they were going to vote for one. But now the voting branch is closed, and the nominations are coming out in a couple days, so we'll find out that. Again, all minuscule chances. But I do think that it's possible, and I wouldn't be surprised if this movie won. But I do think Shang-Chi is a better superhero movie. So if we're ranking which superhero movie we'd put in there, I'd go Shang-Chi. So that's just my thoughts on it, guys. But now I want to know what you think about it. Let me know down in the comment section below. Do you think Spider-Man No Way Home has a chance to be nominated, a chance to win? Let me know down in the comments. one thing we have to know about the Academy is that it's a marker for what artists think art is at its best for the year. I love the Academy Awards. I love celebrating movies, but I also understand that there's a lot of movies like in my top 10 of the year that are not going to be up for Best Picture. You know, I put Halloween Kills in my top 5 of the year. That's not going to get up for Best Picture, and nor do I think it should be. I just really enjoyed the film and ended up being in my top 10 because of how much I loved watching it, and I found it very entertaining. The Candyman film, I could see it getting some below-the-line recognition, but it's not going to be on the Best Picture win. I don't think The Green Knight is going to catch that. I don't think Shang-Chi is going to catch that. There's a lot of films in my top 10 I don't think are going to get any awards recognition. Maybe something, one thing here or there, but I really just don't think it's going to happen. And that's okay. That's fine. We don't need to look for validation in our choices. But I do think it'd be kind of cool if one of my favorite movies did win Best Picture. So I'm going to always hope for it. I think Belfast has a chance. But let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Do you think Spider-Man No Way Home is deserving of the Best Picture win or not? Let me know. I'm curious to hear about it. And let's keep things civil. Everybody always gets really volatile about superhero movies and Star Wars and all these things that we should just be talking about fun. People just hate on each other, which is ridiculous. Don't hate on each other in the comments, but let me know what you think down below. All right. So up next, I want to talk about Bradley Cooper. He is returning to the directing chair for the film Maestro. So Bradley Cooper recently appeared in Variety's Actors on Actors with Mahershala Ali. Basically, they get two actors together, they have a conversation, they film it. It's a fun little video to watch, especially during awards season. These things come out a lot. We also get those directors and actors roundtables, which I really enjoy watching. So while he was talking with Mahershala Ali, he revealed that Maestro will begin filming in May. It is a Netflix original film, that should be noted. This is going to be Cooper's return to directing following his remake of A Star is Born. So I think that was 2018. It's been a couple years, we haven't seen that yet. Yeah, he's also set to lead the film currently from playing Broadway composer Leonard Bernstein. We also have information saying that Carey Mulligan will play Felicia Montealegra. I probably said it wrong. Bernstein's wife. This film was actually originally set to be directed by Steven Spielberg. But as we all know, Spielberg has a lot of movies that he says he's going to direct. There was a Robopocalypse, I think, that he was going to direct at one point. He's been attached a Talisman adaptation of Stephen King and Peter Straub's book. That was in the conversation for a while. Yeah, Spielberg has been attached to a lot of things, and we have not seen those things. He makes a lot of movies, but he also has a lot that he wants to make, and Maestro is one of those. But he got busy working on something else, and Cooper asked his permission to look in to see if he could write, maybe possibly direct, and Spielberg was so busy he let Cooper take on the project. So the film Maestro will probably release around 2023, and I'm guessing it's going to make an award season run in November, December. So we'll probably see it at about that time. But the film is set to cover the life of Leonard Bernstein, who is the Broadway composer. I don't know a lot about Leonard Bernstein, so that excites me a little bit. What I do know a lot about is Bradley Cooper, and if Steven Spielberg was attached, I feel like there was a nugget here. And I think we could see something really special. Bradley Cooper has shown that he's capable of singing, that he's capable of using music well in his films. I mean, A Star is Born is a very, very good movie. It was in my top 10 of the year it came out. It's an excellent, excellent movie. And I tend to watch it a lot because my wife tends to watch it a lot. It's one of her favorite recent movies. And so I don't dislike it. No, I love it a lot. But like, she watches it more than I don't usually rewatch movies to that extent, but she watches it a lot. My brother-in-law posts Snapchats once a month that he's watching A Star is Born. People love that movie. I love it too. In fact, it was the last CD that I had in my Ford Escape before it officially broke down and had to be junked. We never did get that CD out. I miss you, Star is Born soundtrack. I miss you. But I think Maestro sounds like a good way to go. Bradley Cooper, I hope he keeps acting. There was a while where he was considering not acting anymore and just being a director. I think he's so great as an actor. I think he was great in Nightmare Alley. I think he deserves the nomination for Best Supporting Actor for Licorice Pizza. I think there was a run there where he did like gosh, what was it? It was like Silver Linings Playbook, American Hustle, uh, American Sniper, and I don't think he was nominated for Joy, but he was in Joy. It was a lot of movies that he just like ran through for a while and did such great work on. I would be so sad if he decided not to act anymore. So I hope he keeps doing it. Hopefully the Bernstein film Maestro keeps him excited about it, and hopefully he changes his mind on retiring from acting, because I do think, as much as I like seeing his directing work, I hope he keeps acting. He's fantastic. Okay, so I want to know your thoughts on Maestro. Let me know in the comment section down below. Do you think this is going to be a good movie, or is it going to be a dunce? What is your interest level, and where did you feel about his remake of A Star Is Born? Do you think he has the gravitas, the ability to take on Maestro? Let me know. I want to hear your thoughts down below. And while you're down there, what's your favorite song from Star Is Born? I don't know. I honestly can't pick. I'm curious. All right, let's move on to what did I watch. So we're going to talk about some of the movies now that I watched in the last week. Some of the stuff that I've just been kind of going through, checking out. So recently my wife actually injured her back, so I let her kind of just take the upstairs bed, and I just put an inflatable mattress down in the living room and just slept there for like a week, just so she could heal up, have as much space as she wanted to kind of stretch out, get comfortable, get some sleep. And I lost a lot of sleep that week because I basically would just watch movies all night and then into the morning, and then lose hours upon hours of sleep. So I tried to limit a little bit of what I watched, but definitely worth us chatting about it real quick. So I finally saw Empire Records for the first time, which is like Clerks in a record store. I don't think that's a slight. I think it's Clerks in a record store. And it's a pretty solid little movie. I don't care as much about music as I do about movies, so Clerks catches me a little bit more than Empire Records did. But Empire Records was an entertaining 90-minute comedy. There were a couple of cuts. I did watch the theatrical cut because I didn't have access to the other one. I enjoyed the movie, though. And now I know what Rex Manning Day is, so I feel like I'm part of a cultural moment with that, even though the film came out about 25 years ago. I enjoyed it, though. I also watched Unfriended, the original Unfriended from, was that Blumhouse? I think that was Blumhouse. The screen capture film with all the people who are doing a hangout on Skype. They find out there's a ghostly presence that is on the interwebs that is going to start picking them off, looking for vengeance. It's not a bad movie. It wasn't that great. It was okay. I'm more excited to see the second one. I heard some pretty great things about Unfriended Dark Web, but I was like, I have this, I should check it out. So I watched it. It's okay. It's not bad. There were some things I didn't see coming in the film that was kind of cool, because I thought the film was going to be fairly unimpressive, and I was surprised there was a few twists and turns that I didn't see coming. But for the most part, I was never really excited. I was just kind of like, what's going to happen? I'm curious more than anything. That was my curiosity. I also watched the movie Parkland. I really liked Parkland. I don't know if this is a movie that's hated or liked. I'd never really heard anything about it. I'd heard the name. I knew Tom Hanks and Gary Getzman produced the film. Same kind of group that made Band of Brothers and The Pacific, and Taken. I thought the movie was great. It's kind of similar to Bobby, which was the film about the people around Bobby Kennedy who was shot and killed. The people around on that day. This is about kind of like the people surrounding John F. Kennedy during his assassination. And it's interesting because it covers about 3 days, and it covers people just kind of on the outset, people that knew him, some people that didn't know him, but like the guy that got the video of his assassination. It's just an interesting movie, and I was very taken with the different stories. I thought it was pretty captivating stuff. I was pretty into Parkland. Okay, so I also watched Belle, and you'll see a first reaction for that coming up. I just kind of saw that recently. Belle was a movie that I saw in the theaters that is a anime style film about, I kind of called it like Beauty and the Beast mixed with Ready Player One, which is that it's set kind of in a user-verse, kind of an online video game world, and our main character, you hide behind a visage, of your true self. And this woman goes in as she's reborn as Belle, who's this incredible singer, and she does all these kind of can save the world with her song, with her voice. And I thought it was pretty good. It's not great, but it's not bad. There's things I liked about it, things I didn't like about it. I was kind of mixed on it, but I think more positive by just a little bit. Check out my first reaction. That's where I had my thoughts on it a little bit more. The movie's kind of faded in my memory a little bit, so I don't know. I liked it. I didn't love it, but the other movie I watched recently was Goosebumps 2: Haunted Halloween. Now, I missed this movie when it came out in theaters. It didn't do very well. It disappeared pretty quick, and for some reason I was too busy to go see it. I really liked the previous Goosebumps movie. I do wish that they would just go to the anthology format and just tell like the Goosebumps stories the way they were. But this kind of Night at the Museum style of doing a Goosebumps movie was entertaining. So I liked the first one quite a bit. Second one, it's just kind of a lesser version of the first one. They tease you with R.L. Stine, with Jack Black returning, and then the characters just aren't as engaging this time around as they were in the previous film. It's fine, but it feels just kind of like a redo of the first one. Not much really changes between the movie, and except they got some different monsters. That's the biggest problem with it, is that it's just kind of a rehash of the same thing, and it feels like a lesser rehash as you watch it. So I thought it was okay. I'm not positive on it. I would watch it again. If I watched the first one, I'd probably watch the second one, but it just isn't that great. And the sad thing is it didn't make a lot of money, so I don't think we'll see a third one, but this one ends with a cliffhanger. I don't know. It's okay. It could have been better, and it should have been better. And I hope they either do a third movie, or I hope they go to the anthology format and just make the stories the way they were instead of the Night at the Museum approach. Because it worked in the first movie. As we can see, it doesn't always work. So maybe just go to the anthology approach. All right. I also watched a documentary called Jim Brown, All-American, from the actor and football player Jim Brown, directed by Spike Lee. This was an HBO documentary from many years ago. I had a copy of it for some reason, so I went and checked it out, popped it in. It was pretty good. I really like Jim Brown in Mars Attacks, so I was excited to see him talk a little bit about Mars Attacks, a little bit about his time acting. I didn't follow his football career. It was before my time, but I thought he was pretty entertaining as a kind of an action star that he never was, but he could have been. The film does feel a little surface level. It doesn't tackle some of the controversy in his past that well, but it's workable. It's a fine documentary if that's something that interests you. If it doesn't interest you, you're not going to like the documentary because it doesn't try to convince you to like the things that they're talking about. It's just there. All right. Other than that, I did watch Samaritan Zatoichi. Zatoichi meets Yojimbo, and my recommendation for this week is Zatoichi Goes to the Fire Festival. Now, you've probably heard me talk about this before, and I actually have this set right nearby here, the Zatoichi Blind Swordsman set. This is 25 movies, released by Criterion. It's spine 679. I think it's out of print now, but I've been working my way through that for like the past 2 or 3 years. I'm a big fan of that series. I think it's fantastic. I haven't been watching them very frequently because I didn't want to get bogged down. There's 25 movies. There's 3 on a disc, so I like to just move through a disc. I like to watch 3 of them. I just didn't want to get burnt out on them. But I've decided I'm so close to the end, I'm going to finish them. So I watched 3 of them last weekend. Samaritan Zatoichi, which I thought was pretty good. He kills a man who owes money to a Yakuza boss, realizes he made a mistake, that he can't trust them, so he tries to make up for that mistake. Pretty solid. I also watched Zatoichi Meets Yojimbo. It's not the same Yojimbo from Kurosawa's Yojimbo, but it is played by the same actor, Toshiro Mifune. This is maybe my least favorite. I don't want to say that. No, I'm not going to say it. Slight that. One of my lower favorites, though, because I think it's the longest Zatoichi movie. It's like an hour and 50 minutes. Which isn't a long movie, but it's kind of a little too long for the story that they're telling here. In it, Ichi returns home to discover that his village has changed drastically, and he meets Yojimbo, who's been hired by the villainous mob boss Masagoro. And it's actually kind of a quieter movie. We get like hints of building tension, and then stuff kind of goes crazy at the end. It just isn't as captivating as it could be, and yeah, I didn't love it as much as I thought I would. But then comes my recommendation, which was the 21st movie in this series, Zatoichi Goes to the Fire Festival, which we've all lost money on the Fire Festival, so I get it. But in the film, Ichi is pitted against a blind Yakuza boss with a horrifying reputation, and it features one of the best fight scenes in the whole series, a naked bathhouse fight that would rival Eastern Promises. This is a excellent, entertaining, funny, but not overly funny, fun kind of an action movie. I thought it was so great, very, very enjoyable. It's one of my favorites. I would say of the 20 of them, it'd probably rank in my top 5 of them so far. I haven't seen the last couple yet, but I'm on the way to it, so stick with me for that. But that is my recommendation. If you can get your hands on any of the Zatoichi films, I do think they're worth checking out. There is a mythology to the character, but there's very few that are actually interconnected. You could probably watch any one of them outside if you weren't like a dead set beginning to end watcher like I am. I think you could enjoy almost any of them on their outset. The first like 4 or 5 are a little more connected. They feature some of the other same returning characters, but definitely worth checking out if you're a fan of that. All right, folks, thank you for joining me for this. While I've gotten a chance to talk to you, why don't you get a chance to talk to me? Go ahead and comment down below any of your thoughts on any of the various film topics or movies that we talked about today. Always great to chat with you all. While I have you here, don't forget to check out goatfilmreviews.com. Recently, I had my top 10 films of 2021 post, my bottom 10 films of 2021, and my 10 most anticipated films of 2022 are all available on goatfilmreviews.com. You can also check out here on the YouTube channel. We've got a number of first reactions available, some unboxing videos that have come up recently, and some new ones coming on the way. Go ahead and check those out. And hey, if you check out Kyle and Nick on Film, the sibling show, there's a link down in the description. We recently covered the films The Tragedy of Macbeth, Don't Look Up, and we talked about Scream 2022 on our Scary Movie Saturday, so don't forget to check that kind of stuff out as well. And while I have you here, please like, comment with your thoughts, and subscribe to the channel. It helps me out so much, and it'll help you out as well. Once again, folks, you can find me and all my film reviews at goatfilmreviews.com. You can find Goat Film Reviews on Facebook. You can follow myself at Almighty Goatman on Twitter and Instagram. And you can also find me, Almighty Goatman, on Letterboxd for some of my other binges. You can find out what I'm currently watching, and I'd like to hear more from you. So thank you guys for joining me. We'll see you next time.